Our devotional thought from Matthew today talks about the loss and the gain of rewards. Now, we know that God is a rewarder. I mean, please, that's his character. He is the rewarder of those that diligently seek him. But rewards can be lost. Now, I want you to notice what Jesus teaches. In Matthew 6, verse 1, he said, "Watch out. Do not do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven." Now, let's look at some of these good deeds. In Matthew 6, verse 2, he said, "When you give to someone in need, don't do it as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogues and on the streets to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they've received all the reward they will ever get." When they do this to be noticed by others, you know what? You did it to be noticed. That's your reward. You're going to get noticed. When it comes to prayer, Matthew 6, verse 5, he says, "When you pray, don't be like the hypocrites who love to pray publicly on street corners and in the synagogues where everyone can see them." He said, "I tell you the truth. That's all the reward they'll ever get." You want to be noticed? Okay, you did it to be noticed. That's your reward. You'll get noticed. When it comes to fasting, he says, beginning in verse 16, "When you fast, don't make it obvious as the hypocrites do, for they try to look miserable and disheveled so that people will admire them for their fasting. I tell you the truth, that is the only reward they will ever get." You want to be admired? Okay, you fasted to be admired by others for your spirituality, okay? That's all the reward you're going to get. But now there's another way. If you do things to be noticed by others, that's your reward. But there's another way. In Matthew 6, verse 4, Jesus said, "Give your gifts in private, and your Father who sees everything will reward you." Beloved, if you will just learn that you can help people and leave them their dignity by not telling everybody what you've done for them, not only will you leave them their dignity, but God will reward you. For prayer, he said, when you pray, go away by yourself, shut the door behind you, and pray to your Father in private. Then your Father who sees everything will reward you. Prayer in private is one of the most beautiful things that you can do. Lord, I'm here to be with you. I don't care that anybody sees me. I'm here to be with you. And there's a reward for that. For fasting, this is a week of fasting and prayer. He said that no one will notice that you're fasting. Now, the idea of fixing your hair and things, that's kind of a vicarious experience for me, but you fix yourself up, you look good, you dress well. You know, I raised Shasha with a little thing. If you don't feel good, look good. I've raised her all of her life to believe that. If you don't feel good, look good. If you're not feeling good one day, dress extra special. Then no one will notice that you don't feel good. If you learn to take care of yourself and look good, nobody will notice. And then God says, and your Father who sees everything will reward you. Verse 18. Beloved, you can either do things spiritually, you can either do spiritual things to be noticed by others, or you can do spiritual things to be seen by God. If you do spiritual things to be noticed by others, that's your reward. And people will respect you for the spiritual things that you're doing. You will be noticed by people. But if you learn to do things privately, God's got blessing for you.